Hello, my beautiful buds. Welcome back to my channel, Sprouts with Joy. My name is Joy, and if you like to talk about plants, you're in the right place. All right, it is literally actually snowing right now. The last few weeks have been freezing, but according to my calendar, spring is right around the corner, and the days have been getting longer, so like that's good too. But honestly, spring could not come soon enough. My house feels so dry and it's so cold out, and my plants are not really thriving or happy right now. I mean, there's a few of them that are doing well, but a lot of them just aren't. So I kind of want to do a bit of a spring reset and refresh. I want to pamper a bunch of plants and repot a bunch of plants, maybe propagate some. Honestly, there's probably way too much to do for a single video, so I guess buckle in for a few weeks of just like spring plant chores where I'm mainly repotting and propagating and fertilizing and all of that fun stuff. So the first plant that I want to repot is my Anthurium crystallinum. Right now, okay, I've been trying to figure out my Anthurium because they have not been really happy. My Anthurium crystallinum was extremely happy while it was in the greenhouse cabinet, but unfortunately it has outgrown the greenhouse cabinet, so I've had it outside of it in ambient humidity. It's in a self-watering pot, which I hoped would help the situation, but unfortunately it just like has not grown very well for me. It's tried to give me a few leaves here and there, but they have like died off in the sheath and I don't know what's going on. So yes, like it just like this leaf right here is yellowing off, so I think I'll cut that off really fast. But in general, yeah, it's just not looking that cute. Like it's got lots of like yellowing edges and, you know, it could be that it needs to be repotted. That's one possibility because I've heard that Anthurium like to be repotted more often. Could be the humidity issue. Like it could be a number of things, but I'm just gonna take a peek at the root system and see what's going on. And if the root system is anywhere remotely root bound, like at all, I will pot it up. And that would be great because I need this pot for another plant. I'm gonna be doing a lot of pot roulette. Honestly, I think I do need to invest in some more pottery for my plants, but we'll see. Oh, hello. I'm immediately seeing a root, look. Do you see this? Hang on. Look at that right there. So that doesn't necessarily mean it's root bound, but I guess we'll see. Okay, wow, yeah. There's a lot of roots here, and a lot of them are actually super fresh roots and chunky roots, which is good. I don't know if it's entirely root bound necessarily, but I think that I may as well just pot it up and see what happens. I mean, so I did recently like water this plant, so like in the self-watering pot and stuff, so it is pretty sopping wet here. Like I literally filled up the reservoir yesterday, but then I realized, you know, I want to actually repot this plant. Now it is really interesting to me that, I mean, the root growth looks pretty fantastic on this. Like it has lots of really fresh, beautiful looking roots. And yet, you know, it has failed to give me some like nice new leaves. So I don't know, I'll have to kind of keep an eye on that and keep observing and try to figure out why that is. I mean, I'm definitely going to be fertilizing like all of these plants. Actually, did I mention that? Every single plant that I repot, I'm going to fertilize it with this organic fertilizer. It's just like a kind of like a powdery dirt form that I sprinkle in. And I'm also going to be adding microbes to each of these plants. So this promotes root growth, and I think it also kind of helps the immune system of the plant, to my understanding. And I'm just going to use my general aeroid mix. I probably should have different soil mixes for different genera and like different types of plants. I can't really be bothered. Maybe one of these days I will invest in that. But for now, I just kind of have like a general chunky all-purpose soil mix that works for me and for my plants. And I'm really hoping, I mean, this might be a little bit of an ambitious pot upsize if I'm being honest, but then again, it might not be. That might be exactly what this plant needs. So I am gonna pot it a little bit more shallow so that it's not too drastic of a difference in terms of soil volume. And by that, I mean, like, actually it's a little bit deeper in the pot, like the plant itself, so that there's not as much soil volume. Like I'm not using the full capacity of the pot, and I found that that helps prevent root rot from having too big of a pot. I'm also going to sprinkle in my fertilizer and my microbes. And I'll add like a couple more scoops on top of all that. And there we go. Oh my goodness, I really hope that this works for this plant. I really want to have a beautiful, healthy Anthurium crystallinum, and it has just like not been doing well for me recently, so this will be wonderful. This next plant, I don't think I'm actually going to repot. If you saw my last video, this is my Begonia immaculata Whitey, and I was expressing my frustrations, or at least my, I guess, like disappointment that this plant is not growing well anymore because it used to be fantastic and so healthy. So really, I just want to start it over yet again because like a lot of these leaves are super pale and crispy, and I just want to take a few cuts, like propagate it and kind of pitch the rest because it's really just not doing well. So yeah, I'm going to take a few propagations, a few cuts, and I guess see what happens. Begonia are kind of fun because you can propagate them a lot of different ways, but I think I'm just going to do like a normal stem propagation. So I'm going to take off these bottom few leaves that just like don't look great. And these leaves up top here aren't horrible. Like this part of the plant like looks the best. So that's the part that I'm going to keep. So same story here. Yeah. I'm just removing the leaves that don't look great and keeping the leaves that are okay. Let's see. There is some new growth down here. So I want to, you know, of course, keep the parts of the plant that are promising and are kind of growing. So like right here, see there's a new leaf. So keeping that, but honestly, I feel like that's just about it. Like the rest of this plant is not great. So out of sheer curiosity, I want to look at the root system and just see like what it is even like. Like, does it have root rot, you know, just to see what maybe went wrong. And yeah, it looks like it has, okay, that makes complete sense. This plant totally has some form of like root rot or dry rot. Either it was not in the right soil mix or I just like missed one too many waterings because these roots look super thin and brittle. And I mean, you can just sort of like see dry rot. Like when you see dry rot, like you know that that's what it is. So I think that this must have been underwatered, and I'm gonna do better next time and try to keep up with the watering, keep up with everything. But you know, it works out because I wanted to use this pot for the next plant anyways that I was going to repot because like I said, we're doing pot roulette today. So I'm gonna kind of toss all of the ugly part of the plant and this soil that has a bunch of dead roots in it. I will propagate these, I think most likely in sphagnum moss because I have one on hand. So hang on, let me like clear all this out. Okay, and now that we have this pot free, I think it would be great to move my Anthurium dark Forgetii in here, but let me just check out the root system first, just to see like what we're working with. Oh my, okay, well, no wonder. I've been told, as I think I mentioned before, that like Anthurium don't typically like to be root bound, and they don't like to dry out very much, and yada yada. Yeah, look at that. I think that this might solve my problems, honestly. Like I think that this is gonna be the key. So let's get this plant into some better fresh soil, into a bigger pot, and I would be so happy if this plant suddenly turned around and started giving me nice big beautiful leaves again. And yeah, oh my, like look at that. It is so like root bound in there. Like that's all root. Oh my gosh, well, no wonder. Mystery solved, everyone. Is this pot even gonna be big enough? Okay, I think it's gonna be adequate. It won't be perfect. I could even probably go bigger if I'm being honest, but it's okay. I think that this will work. Part of the problem is that I don't think I even really have bigger pots. As I mentioned, I'm gonna need to start, you know, keeping an eye open for new pots to add to my collection because I just feel like I don't have, I don't know, like all the prettiest pots, and I don't have even this. Like I seriously think that this needs to go bigger. Do I have a bigger pot than this anywhere that isn't terracotta? Because that's the other thing. Like, I don't want to use terracotta for an anthurium. Oh, I don't know. I just don't think that I have the right size pot for this anywhere, if I'm being honest. Like, I'm just trying to think, and I just don't think I have it. So I'm gonna just have to pot this up here for now and maybe repot this within the year or even 6 months, because I just feel like this root system it was so profoundly root bound in there that even sizing up a pot isn't quite doing the trick. Like, I think I would need to go up 2 pot sizes for it to really have a lot of room. So it is what it is. I will add some sphagnum moss on top again, because especially right here, in an ideal world, I would bury like this whole stem right here, but this pot also just isn't deep enough. So it's a very pretty pot, but it's not the ideal pot for this plant, unfortunately, which is a shame. But I guess I should have just thought a little bit more ahead, but I just don't have a better option than this for now. And this is probably better than staying in this pot. And you know, sometimes it's just hard to know like what your plant's gonna need till you get into the plant and into the pot. But I'm gonna add a generous amount of sphagnum moss on top, because I've heard the anthurium seem to enjoy that. The only thing that I don't like about it is that sometimes then it's hard to tell like when it's fully dry, like the soil itself, like underneath. And maybe I should also do this with my crystallinum. I don't know, I'll think on it. Yeah, this might help to promote root growth from that kind of stem that's exposed, but only if I can keep it moist, so we'll see. I'm gonna try to localize it to around the stem and not the whole pot right here, because like at least this way I have access to the soil and I can check how dry it is. Okay, I think, oh, I just realized I forgot to add the fertilizer. So let me just do that really fast. Just on the top here. And the microbes. See, I'm gonna forget that every time, I swear. That's definitely gonna happen. So that'll do. We'll see how she does. All right, let's keep the anthurium pot roulette going. This right here is my Anthurium Magnificum. And as you can see, I mean, this is in a glass vessel, so I just already know right off the bat it is incredibly root bound, and yeah, it needs some more space. This here is in no drainage, but I just don't have a good no drainage vessel to transfer it to. I do have that anthurium that was in the self-watering pot, the Anthurium crystallina, but I have plans for that pot, so I can't use it for this. I am a little bit concerned that I'm gonna have a hard time getting this plant out. So let's see. Let's see what I can do. I don't know. Oh man, this is a little bit scary. Oh boy, I should not have waited so long. This is so bad. Oh no. Okay, we're entering some drama. This is the conflict. So I really don't want to like harm the plant or harm the root system, but I'm realizing that this was even more, like I clearly saw that it was root bound, but I'm realizing that it was even more root bound than I even thought. Right now I'm just, yeah, up on the top of the plant, there's a lot of dense roots towards the top and in the middle that I just like didn't fully realize was there. This is definitely not the first time that I've had issues getting anthurium out of like glass vessels and I don't know, pots in general. I feel like I should have learned my lesson by now, but here we are. This is what happens when you procrastinate or when you just don't pay attention. I don't know how well you can see that, but I'm trying really hard to loosen the sides here and like press it in without horribly damaging the roots. I don't know if that's completely avoidable, but I feel like we're making some progress. Let's see. No, no, maybe not really. Maybe I also need to like make the top of it more, I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna fill this up completely with water and see if that helps. I don't know. Yeah, so I filled it with water and like tried it in the sink because of course that would be a bit of a mess. And I really just like took away a bunch of the soil and exposed just how bad the situation is. That looks like ramen noodles, I swear. Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. Why did I do this? Why did I let it get so far and get so bad? Oh my gosh, I'm regretting so much right now, but I am really, really stubborn. Like if I'm anything, I'm stubborn. So I might manhandle this a little bit just to try to get it out. I guess there's a tip for you if you're gonna try no drainage and going with these glass vessels. Do not, I repeat, do not let them get root bound like this, because you're just gonna wind up damaging all those beautiful roots. Because yeah, that's kind of what I'm having to do right now, and it's a little bit sad. Okay, let's see if gravity can help us a little bit here. Of course, I'm making such a big mess. All this water is coming out. Oh. And today I like set aside a bunch of plant chores that I thought would maybe be easy to do because I'm feeling kind of tired. So I was like, oh, well, I'll do a few propagations. I'll do a bunch of repots and I'll fertilize everything. And yeah, it'll be a grand old time. No, this is what we're doing instead. I mean, I'm halfway tempted to just like break the glass open. I don't want to do that, but like, this was thrifted and it was maybe $2, so it might be worth it. I think I'm gonna give myself about 3 more minutes, and if I don't make sufficient progress, I'm just gonna break open the glass because I just don't have the time to sit here for an hour trying to do this and then end up breaking all of the roots anyways. Wow. Okay, there's still like little shards of glass that I need to kind of rinse away and be careful to not get cut by, but wow, that is pretty intense. Unfortunately, I'm actually really sad that I had to break that vessel, but it is what it is. Like, there was no way I was getting this out of there without breaking the plant or breaking the vessel, so I chose the vessel. And honestly, this is probably too root bound to even put into this pot, so I might have to go hunting and see if I have a bigger pot for this. But I'm gonna kind of rinse this off and try to like undo all of these roots. Oh my gosh, this is intense. But hey, this gives me hope, because at least I think I have like a clear solution. Like I know what went wrong. I just, you know, needed to repot my anthurium. Oh, really? Okay, I just broke this pot. Hang on. There. Well, this one's broken. I don't know how much I even want to try to loosen this root system. Let me at least get this leca out and I'll kind of like mix it in with the rest of the soil that I put in here. Oh my gosh, what? This is so dense. I don't know why I just didn't think that this was this bad. Unfortunately, I did lose a few roots. So like this one right here, it's a beautiful root that definitely broke among some others, but hopefully it's not too many. It's about the same height, but it'll have some more room to grow outward at least. So I hope that it likes that. I don't know. Ugh, every time. See, I told you I would forget every time to add fertilizer and myco. That was a little bit more of a wild ride than what I was expecting, but it's all good. And I would love to try to find a pretty cash po for this, but if I don't, that's fine too. Ta-da! This has a lot more room now, which is fantastic. Okay, what is next? I don't know. Actually, I think that my Alocasia friedic is in dire need of a repot. As you can see, you know, it could just be the fact that it's winter time that she's not doing well, but she does not have a lot of leaves, and they just generally don't look great. And I'm just assuming, because she's been in this tiny little pot for quite a long time. So I'm just gonna assume that she's root bound. Okay. Uh-huh. And I quote,
I'm just gonna assume that she's maybe root bound.
Uh-huh. Okay, are we sensing a theme here? I think we're sensing a theme. I think I know why my plants have been unhappy. They needed to freaking repot this whole time. I feel so silly. This is like the most basic. Ooh! I have a little corm. Do I want to take it or do I want to leave it? I think I want to take it because that's my first Alocasia fredic corm. Look at that. Oh, I'm gonna take it. There we go. I'll set it aside and I'm gonna obviously make a little home for that. Are there any others? There could be some others that are like deeper in there, but it's okay. I'm not really gonna bother this root system because it's very delicate. I'm just gonna pot it up in this way bigger pot and I think it's gonna be a lot happier. We're solving our problems. Probably the only reason it lasted this long was that it was in a self-watering pot, so it wasn't like drying out and being desperate because of that. I sort of just assumed like, oh, well, it's winter time. Even though it's in the cabinet, maybe it's just knows it's winter, I guess. I don't know. Because Alocasia tend to be a little bit dormant in the winter. But no, she just needed a repot really badly. She also did wrestle with some mealybugs for a little bit there. So that's another factor, another reason that I don't know where my brain has been. I have not been keeping up with exactly like what my plants need or like the last time I repotted them and stuff like that. I've been going by vibes a lot of the time. I think that you can absolutely get by on vibes to grow your plants, but when your collection's as large as mine, I think I might need a little bit more structure. And that was one of my kind of like resolutions for the year, and I have yet to set up like my planty notion that I was thinking about doing because I wanted to kind of make like a whole list. But you know, I also know that that's not who I am. So we'll see, stay tuned. Maybe I will make a whole list of my plants and like be more organized. Maybe I won't, but at least we're solving problems now. And we're doing all right. Again! It's fine if you add it in the end, but I always kind of want to do it in the middle so that, you know, the fertilizer and the myco is like embedded in, like deeper in the roots. That I forget every time. Oh, Lordy. Okay, I'm starting to run out of time and quite frankly, like pots to repot these plants, but I do want to check one more plant, and I don't know if I'm going to repot it today, but I just want to look at the root system. This is my Scindapsus pictus argyrius. In the long run, I think I might want to put it not in terracotta because it's been drying out so fast, but I also want to see like, okay, is it drying out really fast because of the terracotta, or is it like actually really root bound? And what the heck? Are these root mealies? Hang on. Hold up, do you see that on the back? I hate that I just touched that, but there's like this residue right here, and you know, this plant has been wrestling with mealybugs here and there, and I feel like those are like eggs. I don't like that. I just got like the ick. Oh, I hate this so much. Oh, but okay, let's see what's in here. Let's face our fears. If I must, I will trudge down to the basement and see if I can salvage anything. I definitely want to like at least like wash this pot out. Let's see. Oh, okay. Yep. Oh, ugh. I just had like a visceral response because yeah, there's like weird eggs on the bottom there. It's really hard to make out, but like, I don't know what that is. Is that what root mealies are? I don't actually know. So I've heard of root mealies, but I don't know what they look like. But that's like freaking me out. Ugh, I don't like it. But regardless, I think this does probably need a repot. Oh, Lord help me. I'm gonna need to go see if I have anything that this will fit. Okay, but let's procrastinate for a second and do what we can do, which is cut off some runners. Because of course it's Scindapsus, it has runners. And then I want to wash this pot out because the bottom of that is, ugh. They look like, I don't know what they are, but they look like eggs. And if they're eggs, I'm not going to be okay. I have seen these before, like they've popped up on a few plants, but I've never figured out what they are. So, all right, be right back. Okay, so this might be like a really dumb idea, but I got this pot years ago. And I don't have like a bigger pot, like a regular pot to put this in. But I got this years ago intending to use it for a crawler because it's really cute. and it's terracotta, but it's like a rectangular window type box. And I suddenly had a vision of like this plant cascading down this window box. This plant has been really frustrating to me for a number of reasons recently, and I don't want it to be frustrating to me because I really love this plant a lot in general, like normally. I love this plant a lot. I'm trying to avoid touching it too much, but I do want to loosen the soil a bit. Because if I do this, I'm gonna need to kind of conform the shape of it to a different shape. That was redundant. I'm gonna have to conform this circular shape to more of a rectangular shape. You know, the way that the roots have grown. But yeah, I love Scindapsus pictus argyrius. At one point, it was one of my favorites in my collection, even though, yeah, it's like a little bit more on the common side, but it's beautiful. It sort of lost favor with me for a minute there because, you know, the leaves would bleach out and it was battling mealies, putting off runners, not really growing super well. But I don't know, I kind of want to see what would happen. So first of all, there are a few like bleached out leaves here that maybe I'll just trim away and we'll say goodbye to them because they don't make me happy. They burden me and they're not gonna ever revert back to normal, I don't think. So I'm just gonna trim them, be done with them. Like, we don't need yellow looking leaves. It will be a little bit more barren looking up top, but that's okay. I don't need these in my life. I think that's like the worst of it. See? And then the rest like isn't so bad, right? It does look a little bit more sparse, but that's okay. Does it fit in here? I hope it does. I'm just, all right, I'm going folian. We're going folian. I don't care anymore. We're gonna try it. We're gonna do a completely different thing. I'm probably gonna put it in a completely different spot if it doesn't fit. And we're gonna see what happens. I don't know. Sometimes, like, if a plant is giving me some grief, I just like to impulsively completely change everything about it. And if it survives and looks awesome and new, great. If it dies, well, it was annoying me anyways. So yeah, we're just taking a risk here. Actually, this root system is really big and healthy, so I'm grateful for that. I'm gonna count my blessings. Try to separate the vines from the roots a little bit here because they're a little bit intertwined. Let's give it some fresh soil. Give it a fresh look. I might honestly have too many roots even for this situation with this pot. So I'm realizing, again, this is the trend of I've got a lot of root-bound plants that really needed to be repotted. So I'm glad that I'm doing this, but I just also don't have the right pots for my plants. That's okay. Sometimes limitations push you to be creative and to think outside the box and to do things differently than you expected to do. And I think that's ultimately a good thing. If anything, it exercises your brain. I'm starting to run low on soil. And let's not forget fertilization and mica. I'm trying really hard to cover all of these roots because some of them are still kind of exposed. Oh, this is immensely heavy. Okay. Do I even fully know how I feel about this? I don't really know yet. I'm gonna have to like look at it for a little while. This is certainly not what I was planning on doing, but like, I think it works. I think it's cute. I like the idea of having like a trailing plant out of a rectangular planter. Kind of fun. It's a different way to style it, that's for sure. I think it's cute, maybe a little bit unconventional, but I do like it. All right, I'm gonna water all of my plants that I just potted up. And also I do wanna treat it. As a side note, I just got my hands on Pure Crop 1. This is a concentrate, so literally a splash of it. You just need like a splash, like milliliters of it mixed with water in like a spray bottle. This is a good, you can use it to treat pests, but also it's just a general like pest preventative. And I'm going to be gradually using this on my entire collection. I'm also going to be going around and fertilizing my entire collection. Probably not today because I've run out of time to film this video. Kind of have to like start wrapping up now, but I'm going to use this as a preventative, spray down all the plants I just potted up, and then later of course, I will continue using it on the rest of my collection. I'll continue fertilizing the rest of my collection in preparation for spring, and I'm really excited about that. Well, that's gonna be it for this video. Oh my goodness, I feel like I accomplished a lot, and that is a very good feeling. Let me know in the comments down below how your plant collections have been faring this winter. I guess we can all just pray for spring to come soon. If you enjoy watching plant chores videos like this, I have a whole playlist of them that I will link down below. You can put them on in the background while you're doing your own plant chores, or if you just want someone to keep you company. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a wonderful and blessed day. Bye-bye.